we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Okay, so this has been a little bit of a long time coming because we've had you booked for like a month and a half. And
I think it's been longer than that, honestly.
And we've been anticipating having you come in, man. We've been looking forward to this.
I really appreciate it, fellas, for real. Like, for real, thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, we met down at one of our favorite places, the View House. We had Constantine on a few weeks, months, whatever ago. He was from that establishment. But yeah, when we bumped into you that night, you were like, man, that's cool. I want to be on the show, whatever. And we booked you out like, I don't know. I feel like it was longer than a month and a half ago, bro. I feel like we met Chad in
I think it was.
Early July.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it was like almost 2 months now, yeah. So that's a little longer than July, but yeah, I think it's been like 2 months for sure.
Yep, it's been a little time, but you're here now, man.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing it after my birthday, but
yeah, and you're about to turn 40.
Yeah,
it's coming in.
The big 4-0.
I don't fuck around.
4 decades strong.
Well, apparently you don't, because here's the story of tonight. This man was so embellished in work and getting it in that, and look, we have so many guests that run a little bit late. You know, he was covered in drywall. The man's he does construction. It's a hard work. It's not an easy gig. I've done a lot of construction, commercial and residential. What was the project you were working on today, man?
I was changing a light bulb.
Okay.
No, not really. I was trying to think of something funny. So I'm building a master closet in a condo downtown Denver, and it's fucking drywall, man. It's almost like, I'm not really sure if it's actually, no, I'm sure that my work is perfect, but the building has to be slanted or something, because no matter what I do, it's like trying to plumb up these lines, and I'm telling you right now, it's like, you know, they didn't do it. Doesn't always work when they say back in the olden days they built it better. It seems like they kind of put it together, you know. So I've been killing myself trying to figure some of the things out here, and I hung some barn doors on this closet that I built. It was just a sliding closet, you know, like the olden days, you know, like the big door that just slides back and forth, and there was nothing there. So I created like a 200 square foot space of a walk-in closet in a condo in downtown. So it's pretty cool to, you know, step back and look at this, but I'm freaking ready for this one to be over.
You've had enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're doing the sliding barn door on there. I feel like that's becoming like I don't know about a trendy thing, but I feel like I see that a lot now in a lot of new designs. People like it. It looks cool.
Yeah, I love it, actually. This particular client, poor thing, she bought the house. She lived in Chicago, and she bought the house, came out and saw it, you know, whatever. But you know that whatever they needed to do in order to show the house was cleaned up before she got there, and it's cockroach infested.
Not good.
And so now, actually, after she's had it sprayed like 16 times.
Really? That many times?
Yeah. She hasn't even been able to move in yet.
Is it first floor?
No, it's third.
Really?
And it's roach infested?
Yeah.
Not good.
So
in Colorado, see, like growing up here, I haven't seen too many cockroaches in Colorado, and that's the thing. So whenever I hear about them, I'm like,
I've never seen them.
Really?
I didn't even know what they looked like. They were like really small, and I'm thinking, I grew up in the mountains. Mm-hmm. This little cocksucker is really small, you know. Like I grew up around big bugs, but it's infested, you know. That it's not like a cute ant, you know, where you can see how cute little ants are.
Sure.
These are little infested cockroaches.
Or like the jumping spiders. Like a lot of spiders creep me out, but like the jumping spiders, like the ones that are all super compact, I think those ones are cute.
I don't know about that.
I'm with you. I'm with you right there.
I'm not into the bugs, you know, the insects. I got a buddy that did apartments for a long time, and he told me the first time he saw, you know, the worst cockroach infestation he saw, he pulled out a refrigerator, and there was this massive nest underneath it. That's where they were nesting, because probably some of it was the warmth and the fact that they were hidden a little bit. But again, I think Colorado, I mean, you don't see a lot of roach infestations.
I've never seen a cockroach ever. But I'm with you on the spiders. These little guys were kind of cute, almost look like crickets. Not really cute, but I'm trying not to, dog God's creation, right? But I'm telling you right now, whenever it is that I die, first thing I'm going to ask God is, all right, what the fuck, bro? You created snakes and spiders. What are you thinking? They're weird and not something I want to be around for sure.
We had a very religious man, that he really took the Lord's word, and he said, "Man, I think the devil is Japanese beetles." That's what he told us on the air. Do you remember that? Good old Chris Frazier.
Yeah, I feel like I do remember that. And why was the reasoning behind that?
We'd have to go back and listen, but I just remember him being like, Japanese beetles are the devil.
Really?
I mean, that was his position, and I know my folks dealt with a lot of that this year. I mean, really bad Japanese beetle infestation. You put up the traps, and remember he goes, well, the problem is don't put up the traps, because all that does is pull all the other Japanese beetles from the surrounding areas to your neighborhood and to your yard. I don't know how true that is, but the fact remains, these things fuck up your plants. They fucking gnaw on everything.
How big are they?
Japanese beetles? I mean, I don't think they're that big. They're, typical beetle size, I feel like.
So what are they feeding them like?
I think they're feeding off a lot of the plants and some of the flowers and shit like that. That's usually where I see them. They kind of fuck up your crops, I feel like, is the problem with them.
Yeah.
Damn beetles. I mean, look. If God created creatures, I believe that the devil had his hand in creating some creatures as well. Like the devil got to help evolve some creatures, and one of them is humans. Okay? Let's not get it twisted. It doesn't matter how ugly something is, as far as the acts that humans have done, malicious, horrendous acts of humanity.
Some bad eggs everywhere.
There is no uglier creature on this planet than us in this room, than humans.
Well,
right?
Wait a minute now. Have you ever had a mosquito bite that just doesn't stop itching? I think you're a little bit wrong on this one.
Mosquitoes are a bitch, for sure. Got to get that deep. Got to get that out deep off woods.
Yeah.
Look, a mosquito might bite something and leave an itch. However, humans will bite off things and leave a miss.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
No, I mean, that's the funny thing about this conversation is it could go many ways. Okay,
humans can be absolutely
Yes.
absolutely grotesque.
And I like to call out. I just like to call that out because that's like, okay. So I am spiritual. I respect religion. I do believe in a God, but I'm more spiritual. And I believe heaven and hell, that's on earth. That's where it exists. I don't necessarily believe in the afterlife. And that's fine if you want to live your life for that. And I'm speaking out there in general terms. Not to you directly, but if you want to live your life in that manner, live your life that way.
Yeah.
That's
an interesting point, isn't it? I was thinking about the other day. I had a friend that, because I am spiritual too, so I joke around about. It is a little blasphemous when I say jokes like, "Why'd you create spiders, snakes?" Apparently he has his reasons, right? But it's kind of funny to say it. But then I started asking myself questions, things like, what was it, Lutheran? I think that, they just die and they don't have an afterlife or whatever. We, at least, Christianity, we believe in certain things like you go to heaven, you have an afterlife. Well, it's almost like, well, what if my best friend or my favorite family member didn't make the cut? I'm in heaven chilling, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought all my desires were supposed to come around, So there's that, and then I don't believe in Scientology whatsoever, right? Mm-hmm. But
that's a wise choice.
Yeah. But let me tell you what I was thinking the other day, right? So
Okay.
we're thinking about when we grew up, we were taught, and I always believe in the 10 Commandments. They're pretty solid, right? That's
They make sense across the board.
yes, absolutely.
Right?
They're like a universal making sense kind of scenario. But when it comes to things like the stories that we're hearing as children, whether it's you're talking, I mean, just I don't want to even say exactly what it I don't want to give too many options for or open discussion about too many options here, but my thoughts were like, so here we are thinking that our religion is the best. Christianity is like the most widespread. You know, Catholicism actually I think probably is, but Christianity in general, right? And here we are saying things like Jesus walked on water, which he damn straight he did, because I believe in that, you know, I really do. And he died, and he died on the cross, and he was resurrected. I believe in all that stuff, and I'm so proud of all that stuff. You know, it makes sense to me, and I don't care what anybody says.
That's great.
But then again, you know, not then again, but you hear stories like Scientology. Okay, this person became a leader, like in the, I don't even know. It was just, it's pretty recent, right? Mm-hmm. And then we're supposed to feel weird about the idea that a spaceship came, but yet we're talking about things like a spaceship kind of makes sense to us because we're millennials or we're technology based, you know, era. Isn't it, it's kind of funny to think, like, why are we so against something that it doesn't make any sense to us? Why the spaceship, you know, is so dumb and like doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But then we're going to believe in like walking on water. We're going to believe in resurrected after 3 days, things like that. You know, the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, the Easter Bunny doesn't even have freaking eggs. Like, where did that even come from?
What kind of platypus bunny is this?
Right?
Well, I mean, I think it brings up a lot of good points about questioning everything, right? I mean, there's so many religions that people subscribe to, and I think I look at it the same way across the board. I mean, whatever brings you a sense of joy and comfortability, I think that's what you need to run with.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? I mean, I think we see a lot of religions try to preach their opinions on other people and try to persuade, and I think that, you know, a little bit of Catholicism and Christianity do teach to, you know, bring people on board, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I'll listen to what anybody has to say. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not a religious person. I grew up around a very Roman Catholic family. We did Mass. We did a lot of things like that in my family. But I think, you know, when I really look at some of the ways that religion kind of micromanages life, right? Sex before marriage or, you know, things of that nature, I feel like that's where it becomes a little bit, look, if that's what you need to do, you know, you want to be celibate or whatever that word is, that's fine. I can tell you right now, I'm not capable and able of doing that. I just can't not. Sex before marriage has to happen for me.
Fuck yeah.
So, you know, in that regard, and I've talked to a lot of folks that do you know, are extremely religious and very committed to the Lord and will spend their Sundays, but they also agree, like, yeah, no, I need to see what I'm getting into before I get into it. So I guess that's where it kind of opens up a can of worms. Like, okay, well, are you going all the way, or are you just kind of, you know, taking what works for you, and that's fine too. I feel like.
Yeah. I guess I should clarify because, you know, to me, monogamy is so freaking wonderful. You know, I long for that.
I second that. I agree with that.
Sex before marriage, I'm definitely okay with that. I feel like I'm fucking turning 40. You know.
Well, and congratulations, you made it.
I don't want to be at the 40-year-old version. You know.
Well, absolutely not.
You know. You seen that movie, right? Like, I don't want to get my chest pubes waxed off, you know, just so I can finally get a girl.
You just got to buzz them down a little bit. Look, for the longest time, I was super insecure about how hairy and beastly I am until I realized that's what a man looks like.
Fuck.
You got to send it.
In so many different ways, man.
I shave my arms. Fuck.
No, but I like the beastly. You got to let that beef come. I mean, Kevin's repping that beef heavy right now.
I don't trim the beef. I like to let the beef roam. You know, send it.
What I like doing is
you have to tame the forest.
Yeah,
but
right.
The forest grows.
Well, I mean, I will tell you, you know, free plug for Manscaped. We've talked about Manscaped. I love the Manscaped lawn mower. It's fantastic. If you haven't used that on your nuts, it won't clip it. I'll tell you right now.
You're talking about the Manscaped.
Correct, the Manscaped. Yeah, I have the 3.0 lawnmower.
I thought you said. Oh, it's called a lawnmower?
It's called the lawnmower from
shit.
Manscaped.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
They marketed it so well. I mean, I'm just saying, if you guys are into manscaping and keeping your your twig and berries clean, it's a great product.
Manscaped, when you need to keep your twig and berries clean, brought to you by Discussion Combustion.
That's DCP. Use promo code DCPC for 20% off your first purchase.
We're fucking off now. No, but it's true stuff, and I like where we're at with this conversation because we're joking around, we're having fun, But the thing is that we're talking about religion, and there's so many different levels of practice. And how extreme do you follow the old ways? You know, and what different variations of religious practice exist? And I feel like that's a conversation worth exploring, because the thing is, as long as you have some sort of spirituality, and whatever that is, if it fills you and it helps you to have a better appreciation on your day, and you appreciate your time more, and you're more thankful, then regardless if you believe in sex before marriage, or regardless of what different piece of religion you're applying to your own lifestyle, as long as it's not trying to, like, my beef with religion is, like, believe in it yourself, enjoy it yourself, but don't push it. All right, like people will find God themselves. They will, when the time is right. Like, and it's great to have people who hold people accountable, but like, everyone has to walk their own road. So I fully support being spiritual, being religious, and having that as part of your life. Like, it will help people's lives out. But at the same time, like, let's not overly push it. And let's also accept the variations. Just because someone doesn't see the same that you see about religion doesn't mean that it's blasphemous. Maybe they just have a different outlook. So let's have acceptance. I don't know.
Slightly. If they like spiders or snakes, fuck them.
They're out. You're fucking in, and you're fucking out. No, but I think you bring up a good point, Art. I think we see so much, it goes back to the Muslims and Crusades, of course. I mean, wars have been won and fought over religious beliefs. But I think it applies to a lot of things. We need to respect everyone's beliefs, opinions. They shouldn't be pushed upon each other, and it shouldn't be judged upon. If somebody truly wants to subscribe to, Catholicism through and through, and wants to do no sex before marriage, like a Tim Tebow, right? I don't think he should be judged upon that.
Hell no.
That doesn't judge his character.
There's nothing wrong about that.
He is so badass.
Exactly. It doesn't judge who he is as a person. But a lot of people like look at him like, oh, he's so weak because he believes this. No, I don't think that's fair.
People say that?
I've heard a lot of people say that.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I want their names and their addresses and their social security numbers, and they're done.
I'm going to send you a full list.
I'm going to take care of them right now.
But the fact remains.
I'm going to pray for all of them so hard. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of judgment out there. I mean, look, here in America, obviously, we have such a wedge driven between everybody right now, between the conservatives, the liberals, between the religious aspect. I mean, it gets worse by the day. You add social media on there, you sprinkle a little bit of emotion, and people start fucking losing their minds.
Oh my God, man. You have no idea. I would love to talk about certain scenarios. I don't really know how to.
Okay.
Like, they're really, and trust me, they're sound. I'm goofing off myself a little bit. They're really, really sound, but it's really hard for me to. I would love a platform to be able to say the right things, but I don't know how to, because if I say certain things, of not just what my beliefs are, just literally things that have happened to me, either going out, or living in Atlanta for 3.5 years, certain things that I've witnessed that have been done to me, I want to talk about, but nobody's going to believe it because I'm White Boy Rick, and it sucks because I'm so, you guys know me. You guys know what I'm talking about on the level of what I'm talking about. But it's just like, I'm tired of feeling bad for certain things, and
I mean, we're all sinners, man. Like,
yeah,
we all do things that are not.
We're not
right?
proud of.
I mean, if any one person, I'm going to look at the camera and say this, if any one person out there, you're sitting here thinking that your shit never stink, and like you never fucked up, and like you're not walking on fire just like all of us, it's time to look in the mirror deeper. That's how I feel.
I'm trying to get on that angle.
Right here.
It
right
totally.
Here.
Oh, here it is. I'm still messed up for how bad your shit stinks. So I can't even find the right camera angle.
That's okay. You're new to the studio. It can be a little confusing. But look, I think we're hitting on some good stuff here.
It's true.
People can get a big head. They can go, oh, I'm better than this person, better than that person. I think all that's nonsense.
Have you guys ever gone through like a life change in experience, which made you either, go towards Christianity or towards being a better person or anything like that? Like, by the way, you guys, congratulations on doing something like this, because
Thanks, man.
there are certain things that have to take place in someone's life. First of all, timing, right? Then obviously, I don't know how long you guys been friends. How long?
Very long.
14 years,
Yeah.
coming up on 14.
Okay, so that's a long time. So like best friends.
Pretty much.
And the fact that you guys can do something like this, knowing that you're going to be running a business together and still run this business together, knowing that it could mess up like being friends and things like that, right? But there's got to be something that maybe made you want to do something like this. All I know about you guys is that you guys have been pretty much even keel, like just really cool dudes. Was there ever a moment like when you decided that you wanted to do it so badly? I mean, was he going to be like a professional polo player, and then you were going to be like a professional diver?
I mean, these are good.
But then you're like, maybe let's try this. So I'm kind of curious about that, and I'd like, I'll tell you how I got into what I did.
Okay. Yeah. No, I always like when the guest kind of turns the mic a little bit and asks us some questions. I think our listeners know a lot of this story, but we can certainly reiterate it for you, Chad, because I mean we've getting to know each other, and I think you're a great guy. So, Art and I became good friends many moons ago, 14 years ago, and he was in the rap industry, I was in the country music industry. We both came from a music background, and we would always stay up late, drinking beers, having good conversations. In early 2019, I think it was even late 2018, I said, man, we got to do a podcast. We have to do it. This train's moving. And so we launched this thing, and it's just been one hell of a journey ever since. I knew that this was the guy to do it with, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You just read people. You got the the energy and the chemistry. And yeah, man, it's been one hell of a ride. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Art, but that's kind of been the view I've had from it.
I mean, there's definitely some times where we butt heads, and
sometimes, a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get at it. Like, we get at it. We don't always agree.
We get at it a lot.
And that's
healthy.
But that's important. Like, we challenge each other, and look, Kevin is a hard worker, and he motivates me to work weeks, and I know I outwork him in certain aspects too, but it's like that thing where I'm like, shit, dude, I can't let Kevin outwork me right now. Like he's my boy, and like I love him, but like I can't let the man outwork me. And so I'm putting in that output, and so that's an interesting dynamic. But part of my journey with God, because you asked like a 3-layer question, like you had like multiple layers to that, and I'm gonna wrap it up with, I'm so fortunate to have met Kevin and that we're great friends and have done this. We're fortunate to have this platform.
Terrific.
So I've kind of teetered on spirituality for a long time. And it was about 4 or 5 months ago when I was in Jamaica is when I first saw God live action. Like, I was like witnessed and open to it. However,
Kanye West?
No. And I'm like, and I could see the Yeezus.
I love it.
But no, it's interesting because I've always been open spiritually. And when you actually like start opening up and you get that extra energy from the perpetual, divinity.
Yeah.
Like it's different. And so like that plays a role in things that we do. And I mean, everyone has their struggles, and hopefully people can be open-minded enough to accept and acknowledge their weaknesses. And mine for a long time was opiates. And I've turned that corner, and life has been very powerful since. And I didn't do that alone. You know what I'm saying? So like, that was a great question because there's so many layers. Like, I could ramble for probably 7 minutes.
Yeah.
He'd go on a raw rant, is what we call here at DCPC.
Yes.
But let's go ahead and turn this over to a Chad
I could do
rant.
it for 8 minutes.
Let's go, Chad. What you got?
No.
Let's get to know you a little bit. What you thinking, man?
All right. So, first off, I forgot to tell you guys, I like short walks on the beach because I don't like walking.
So not long walks, short walks.
No, short walks on the beach.
How long is a short
Just a
walk?
quick skip,
Well, I
skip,
mean,
and a jump.
Like, is it like half a mile?
I don't know. I mean, like the beach is so beautiful. Like, how long do you have to walk?
That's true.
You just sit down and like this. It's so beautiful anywhere you go, right?
I like that
So,
perspective.
I think that I'm onto something here, fellas. Okay. and I want to let you guys take the credit for that. I'll let you guys take the credit. on this
Hashtag
one.
short walks
Yep.
on the beach.
So, next time you guys take a girl on the beach, just take her for a short walk. Both of you guys will have so much energy to do so many activities later on because you didn't walk too long, I don't know. I think I got it locked down. So, anyway, that's first of all, okay?
So which beach in Colorado are you going to?
Cherry Creek.
Swim beach.
And if I can't get in there because the sand is so beautiful, I'll pop over to Chatfield.
Yeah. Have you done Lake Dillon? I mean, that water's cold up there, but it's beautiful.
I grew up in the mountains,
Yeah.
and I never actually have gone into the water up there. I wanted to do it, but me acting like a badass is one thing, but then actually going in. See, I've been shaving my arms, I've been shaving my body. This is all.
You trying to get aquatic?
Yeah. You guys have the hair to, make yourself warm when you get right back out. This right here, this is only because a girl I was dating. I didn't want a beard. Now I can't shave it because I look like a fucking idiot when I shave it. I'm sure you know how.
Well, no. So the beard actually helps because when you get hefty, and I've been husky hefty. All right. So I've been a double H in it, and you could create your own jawline with it. You're like, all right, let me just.
I don't even know. I'm still fresh on this beard thing, so I don't even know still.
Oh, it's like tiramisu.
I'm pro beard. I'm pro beard.
Now, is this real? That badass little strip right there, or do you do that?
With the white?
Yeah.
No,
no. The gray.
The gray?
Come on, bro.
No, the gray, the salt and pepper. That's through years of
Salt and pepper.
of desperation, adrenaline.
So it's real.
And yeah.
You don't even dye it.
No.
My man.
I got to keep it natural, baby.
Right on.
We got to keep it natural, man.
I wish. I have been told that I'm Apache Indian, right? I got Apache here, and I got Apache there, and I'm definitely not going to look good like that, just randomly. I'm going to have to do that shit. How in the hell did you get that just perfectly right there in your chin?
I mean,
Fucking prick.
Look, it was a certain amount of logistics and toxic relationships and addiction to drugs.
And genetics.
And that's how it happens?
No.
I mean, when I grow mine in, people say, because I was like a dirty blonde growing up, right? And I wasn't able to grow any sort of facial hair until I was in my late 20s. And then everyone's like, it's red. You have a red beard.
It is a little bit.
It isn't. It just isn't.
Fellas, is this our first fight?
No, I feel like your beard is a little red.
Okay.
Just no, it's not as blonde as your head.
So I was going to go into this one, okay? Your beard is I feel like ours is we can match up with our beards, right?
Okay.
This fucking prick, he has a perfect little fucking gray down his chin, right?
He does. He got that nice gray hitter.
I didn't know that was good.
But can we fucking rock hair like his? I can't.
I mean, look, Kevin has the messy rough cut down to a science.
He doesn't fuck around, man.
Yeah, you send it. You got to own it.
Yeah.
You got to own it.
I mean, the man wears cowboy boots. He's rugged. He's
he really?
professional.
Oh, yeah, I don't have him on now, but
this man, I've had a crush on my friend for a very long time.
There's a lot of things coming out right now, Chad.
I don't think you should. I don't think it should come out. I think it should stay in.
I think it's already out. I think we're there.
Oh man, everybody missed the show then.
No, look, I'm in for a good relationship, and I'm also in for a good time. So when I'm really thinking about having a good time, there's a couple different scenarios. Either it could be I'm meeting up with all my people. We're gonna go have fun.
We did it a lot this summer.
We're gonna cut it loose. Yeah, we had a hot girl summer.
We got to tighten up.
That's like a movie, right?
My second, that's a song. The second scenario would be to just post up and not do anything. Have the food that you want, have the hydration you want.
That'd be so dope.
You need a little bit of both in this reality.
I think we need a little bit more of because we went so hard this summer. You saw us out there. We ran into you so many times out there. We partied this summer. Art and I both became I became freshly single back in the beginning of summer, and he was about
December. You said
summer.
Summer.
Yep. And so I was kind of stepping back into that world, and so that was new. But so that's fun. I like doing all that stuff. But man, I value so much to have my bros come to the house. I'll fire up the Traeger. We'll throw a brisket on there. we'll hang out, watch football, racing, whatever. That's, I mean, you were kind of talking about down the back a little bit. That's kind of how I look at it. Slowing down a little bit, balancing it out. Going out's fun, but man, it's so fun to have your friends around and doing some good cooking, some good eats.
That's that brings up a good point. So I have a tattoo that says on my side right here, it says "slow down and catch up to the truth."
I like it.
And that's one of the first times actually that it kind of made sense in the conversation with anybody, because it's fun to go out and party and have all the fun in the world, but what really makes sense and what actually is long lasting and gonna make the best life is pals coming over and
so true, man.
watching this guy do cake stands, I'm sure, with his stupid beard.
I've never been good at that. Never been good
Cake
at
stands, yeah, shotguns. I mean, we used to do all that shit in our
Fine,
early 20s,
shave
of
it.
course.
You can't have that beard without cake standing.
Hey man,
It comes with a weight.
look, if you want to shave it off my face,
Ooh, that's a big ass there, Chad.
Can we have oils and like the scents in the air and things like that?
no, I only shave.
I'm not doing it
with just straight water.
I
Straight water
don't even use
shaver.
shaving cream.
I don't use shaving cream.
I don't even do anything. This just does it. I don't have a shaver.
Fucking send it. Fucking send it. But
I can't show anybody. Okay.
show anybody what?
I don't want to show anybody how this just happens.
It just is.
Yes.
You have to trust the process.
But if you guys ask me to do it, I can't show you because I don't even know how to do it then.
Look, everyone loves mystery, and that's something I'm learning more. Okay, so what we're talking about is quality time spent with like our people and going out. And I agree with, it's fun to go out. I'm an extroverted heart. Quality time is great. But one of the best things for me as of the last year of my life is getting to know myself and having true solitude time, like to where it's just me and my own thoughts in my own head without anybody else. And that's what I do on walks.
Wait a minute.
No, yeah, go.
Are you talking about right before you jack off? That sounds like you're about ready to jack off, it sounds like.
I have a healthy appetite.
So
That's the further I'm going to
thing.
go there.
I do the same thing when I clear my head. I want to be by myself. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just thought you were talking about like when you get there.
Right when you're about to, like, you're like, man, I'm really getting to know myself
You're
right
just going
now.
to beat the ever living shit out of your dick. Okay, go ahead.
Beat it like it owes you money.
I was trying to go into a wholesome path there.
I know.
Chad derailed you.
I'm so sorry.
Chad, no,
I found a little
derail me there.
I found a little pathway there, and I'm so sorry for it. You can edit it out, please. 'Cause
No, we're going to keep that.
You look so sorry.
We're going to full send it.
However, everybody has to maintain their own disciplines and take care of their own needs. But what I'm saying is, like, those moments beyond lust, beyond these other things, like true appreciation in life and true, like, being thankful and grateful for the current and alone and, like, being like, man, like, you think, like, it's good to reminisce. It's good to look back on the road that we walked. I know you walked a cold, long, hard road. I know you walked a cold, long, hard road.
Long, cold, hard road.
And we all do. And we all do, man. And that's the thing is, like, when you start succeeding and you've been through the struggle, like, that solitude time where you're appreciating yourself, like, I feel like that's important because so many people, I feel, spend their alone time checking out their phones or something.
Yeah.
And so, like, let's actually put down the phone. And I know I'm saying a lot. Kev, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think.
I'm sorry to interrupt. That I was good, man. I would think you should keep going.
Yeah, no. Like when Arthur goes on the Raw Rants, we like to call him the Raw Rants. His last name Raw.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
I'll go.
He hits on some shit, man. I mean, the real shit for sure. It's easy to get consumed in all the nonsense. It's that's what I love about podcasting is I think it really kind of pulls back the reality, and kind of sidelines some of the fakeness that we see, the social media posts, the trending things, right? What I love, Chad, as you're experiencing, I don't know if this is your first podcast.
It's my first time on camera since high school, and I'm still fucking nervous.
No, you look
You're
great,
doing great, man. You're killing it.
You
You're
look
killing
great,
it.
too.
But again, there's something about this dynamic.
Yeah.
Right, none of us have looked at our phones since we hit record.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. We can just get to know each other a little bit, and I think that's what we need more than ever. And I think this train is going to keep rolling. You know, a lot of people like to tune in. But here's the thing is, too, you know, podcasting, it started out as an audio thing, right? So the video aspect kind of, it makes you want to pour a drink because you're seeing us goofing off. We're drinking over here. You brought us some delicious rum, which is fantastic, by the way. And let's cheers to that. You know, it's just one of those deals, man. Keeping it real.
Absolutely. I can see that about both you guys. It's backwards.
No, I was showing it to the camera.
Oh. I guess.
I didn't mean to interrupt that point. Yeah, it's a pleasure, man.
I guess I had a half a shot by now, so I didn't realize that was the camera angle. Isn't that good though?
It's good, man. It's good taste on that. You know, my good counterpart in my day job, he sold that for a long time. So, good product. Good
I only
product.
got it because it was badass looking.
Yeah.
It's
A lot of good stuff in the market,
It's
for
got
sure.
like the coolest freaking bottle. But hey, have you ever just wondered what an ice cold Coors Light tastes like? Sometimes you can see the mountains, but sometimes you can't. And this is my sexy voice that I'm doing right now. Because when I drink my ice cold Coors Light, this is what it sounds like. Shit, it's empty. Fuck. It's fucking empty. I can't even finish my thing.
He needs a fresh beer, Art.
Oh, is it that time?
That's your cue.
Okay, no, I'm jumping up for this. But it's not going to taste the same with the Coors Light. It's not going to taste the same unless you're in Colorado.
All right, so I'm shifting gears, guys.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so, yeah. Love you. So, check this out. Chad, I want your opinion on this. I don't
Sure.
know how big of a sports guy you are. I'm a New England guy. Patriots. Tom Brady, my man. He's in Tampa Bay now. He's going through a major divorce. Or allegedly about to happen with Gisele Bündchen. This came out. They both lawyered up. It's going down. There was a report that came out today that there was pictures of Gisele with Antonio Brown. I think this thing's getting thick.
No shit.
Yeah. I think it's getting thick. And I don't know what's going to happen just yet. But one thing I know about Tom Brady at 45 years old, that man is a fucking beast.
So what are you asking me right now?
Just your opinion on the whole situation.
Like for real?
No.
No. I want you to look in my eyes. For real. I'll give you my opinion. No, I need your head to nod. It's like a half nod.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time, I actually think. And I think that Gisele is one of the most beautiful girls of all time, too. I think that when you have that kind of money, you just start... I don't know whose fault it was. I don't know what people are saying. I don't know if it's, you know, it's... He probably does bullshit, and she probably does bullshit, you know. But if you ask me, I don't think the reason why she's with him, Antonio Brown, is because he's like a good gentleman. It's probably to create a ruckus, in my opinion. So
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I mean, out of the gate, you know, Tom and Gisele got married in 2009. You know, Tom was already 3-time Super Bowl champ at that point.
yeah, well, you know, maybe she needs him to win like 8 or 9.
He's capable.
Then she'll be with him.
See, but I think what happened was, I mean, from everything that we've seen, is she was just, you know, even when he was with New England, my team, when he left there after his 6th Super Bowl win, she wanted him to retire then, you know.
Well, you know, in my opinion, nice guys finish last. Okay, Antonio Brown's unemployed, so it fits the mold, right? Tom Brady's a nice guy, so maybe it really stands true, right?
But nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's weird when we're talking about like hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Well, and here's the thing too. You know, when you look at, you know, when you talk about net worth, like Gisele's worth, I think over $400 million. Tom's worth about $250. So she's dominating the net worth category.
What the fuck just happened?
Well, I mean, the thing is she's the #1 model of all time.
She's been bomb.com for a lot longer.
I thought that men ruled this world.
No, they certainly do not.
Oh shit. Next podcast I want to be on, okay? So I can go into that detail.
Well, we got time right now.
You're on it right now. Let's go into it.
Okay. Well, I don't even know what to say. I got to think about something funny real fast, and then back it up by truth. So give me a few minutes, okay?
I mean, that's a heavy topic that you're like, let me go ahead and open this up real quick. And no, so here's the thing that I think about men and women is inherently, and as of the sex that we're born, not the gender that we identify as, but the sex that we're born, there is inherent things that are just different throughout history, which is proven throughout humanity's evolution. And I also believe in evolution. So it's like, you got to unpack a lot, but you also have to be neutral throughout the thought process, because to corner any one opinion is unanthropologic, or like, because when you're doing anthropology, you're extremely open-minded. You're studying humanity, and with an open eye, you're being neutral about it. And so that's how I like to try to think.
Third eye, right?
That's how I try to think about the whole topic of men and women, and what roles should they play in a relationship. And I've met women that want to have more current roles, and then also women who appreciate traditional roles. And I find some of those more attractive than others, and that's my personal opinion, and that's going to vary. So it's just such like a Pandora's box of a topic of, I don't know. There's so many ways we could go with that.
Absolutely, yeah. So first of all, folks out there in TV land, I'm a goofball trying to just be a goofball with my pals. So, but for real, traditional women doesn't mean like, oh, you cook and you clean and all that stupid bullshit, I actually do think that a good woman makes a terrific man. I actually think, and as long as they're the right things that are being done, you want family, you want the rest of your lives together, things like that. That's perfect. Because guys, we're stupid. We get on, podcasts and we say stupid, dumb shit. But then I don't think that women would get onto a podcast and try to talk about how big their tits are, or how,
you'd be surprised,
how
Chad.
sexy their hair chest is, shit like that.
I mean, it's not I would say that the percentage is probably higher with men. Give you that. But I've been listening to podcasts a long time. There's a lot of women out there that will full send it.
Yeah, for sure. And I've dated girls like that, but that's not me.
Yeah.
I don't want a stay-at-home mom, because that's the hard. I mean, trust me, I'm sure that's the hardest fucking job ever. No adult time. You gotta watch over your beautiful kid, right? But the man gets to go to work, in that scenario, man gets to go to work, then he gets to come home, and it's always about the joy of seeing, like, the kid's gonna be happy to see you, where the mom has to take care of all this bullshit all day, with like no adult interaction. So I don't believe in like one person having too much control of the other. I actually do think that a good woman makes a better, like, the best man. If it was a terrific woman, it keeps going up for a guy. If it's a perfect woman, well, I don't want to say president, because that you become president, but because we say our president, every now and again. But I do give women credit for everything that a man's good for, to be honest with you. And some men have that ability to understand his power and things like that. But what the fuck's going on with this bullshit? 400 million compared to 250. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to the bullshit that people always say that women don't make as much as men. Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has won 7 Super Bowls. He busts his ass every fucking day. He built TB12. He doesn't make as much as Giselle.
Yeah. What? Hey, in TV land, what the fuck, bro?
So we got to look at everything with a critical eye, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think everything you said is good. I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but, I think that we put women on a pedestal a little bit. I think as a society we do. This
is within good intentions. Like, if a girl's a bad girl, so I can go into a little bit. We talked about when what you do for your
my non-podcasting job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the reason why I got that job is because I had a wonderful woman that gave me a job because I had nothing. I actually was the number one banker on the western side of the United States out of like 3,800 bankers at Wells Fargo. And I had a surgery, and 2 days after my surgery, I fucking died right in front of my mom.
Really?
Yeah, for 20 minutes. Like,
Damn.
dead as a doornail.
Jeez.
I was supposed to go home the next day. And so they weren't monitoring me the way they should. I had an epidural in my back, but it was placed a little bit higher. No, it was placed lower, sorry. And so I still had pain, so they laid me flat on my back in order for the medicine to travel up higher. And so it fucking killed me. I mean, I died, literally.
How did that feel? Do you have a memory? Because
Yeah.
like everyone wonders how it feels to die. Like,
Sure, yeah. And before all this, so my just so you guys know, my son goes to a Independent Baptist Academy for school. He's a senior now, so I'm a believer. So
And
all this
great.
joking, all this bullshit,
No.
you know.
Oh,
We respect everyone, man.
completely.
I just want to make sure
completely
everybody knows
respect
that out there.
No, that's great.
We respect that, man.
But, so I don't want to. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk about certain parts of this because I didn't see anything. I didn't see. I wasn't walking towards pearly gates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I came to. So when I came to, the first sense that I had was I was cold. I could feel how cold my skin felt, right? And then the second thing was, you know when you stand up too fast, right? Okay. Well, there's like a very beginning point of that where you haven't started to see images yet, right? But you could hear, but it's almost like your hearing is blurry, but you can still hear perfectly, but it's kind of blurry because your other sense, your eyes, hasn't come into focus completely yet, right? So it was completely black still. So my second thing that I felt was I could hear people, yeah, Chad, breathe, Chad, breathe, or whatever. And then the third thing was I could start seeing. It's like these lights right here. I was on my back, obviously, and it wasn't even in an operating room. It was in the recovery room. But there's still lights right here, right? But if you get like a haze over these lights, like a complete haze, like just a night light over these, that's my third thing I saw. And then the last thing I felt was I started seeing stuff, and then pain started coming around. My chest hurt like crazy, and at that point I was like, holy shit, what the fuck, what are you guys doing here? Last I felt like was I made a phone call to my girl, right? And then here I am just looking up, like not even know what the fuck's going on. And then I threw up all over everybody because they gave me 3 shots at Narcan.
Damn.
So Narcan's like a drug reversal.
So you were doing like projectile vomiting?
Oh yeah, and those cocksuckers, it's almost like they forgot. Nobody was looking at me. I'm throwing up all into my freaking mask that they had on me, and I'm inhaling that shit right back into my freaking throat.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and I'm leaning up, and I had surgery on my stomach, so I'm flexing up, trying to fight them. They're pushing me back down, and finally, I was able to kind of come to, and like just breathe, and everything. So the only out of body experience that I actually felt was your brain does start to kind of play tricks on you, and I saw a TV here, I saw a TV here, and this is when they were wheeling me down the hallway because I was still in the very most easy recovery room in the hospital, and I thought I saw a TV here and TV there, and they were like talking to me as I'm going down the hallway, right? There's a man and a woman, and they're saying, Chad, America's with you. America's with you. I'm like, fuck yeah, America.
Nice.
And so I'm thinking that, right?
Yeah.
So certain things stick. I couldn't even read, right? But certain things stuck, and I'm like, yeah, man, fuck yeah, everybody's back behind me. Well, nobody would tell me. By the time I got downstairs, nobody would tell me what happened. I thought maybe something really terrible happened. Maybe I hurt somebody on accident or whatever, and they didn't want to tell me because it would upset me in my recovery at that moment. but finally, they're like, well, you died, you know, and I was like, oh shit, and so that's when my brain started playing tricks. I thought that I won the fucking lottery. Okay, it was like a $1.4 billion lottery. The real things matter. Okay, you remember those things. Mm-hmm. So I thought I won the lottery, and that's because I felt like, you know, my chest hurt. I'm like, I had a heart attack. Fuck yeah, I don't give a shit. You know, I'll spend all that money in 2 years. I don't give a shit. I won the lottery. I'm alive now. And then that's when it all really started to suck, because I had a burn mark right here from the paddles, you know, and shit like that. And then I just couldn't figure out shit, you know. Even the board, like, they write down your medicines or whatever, or your doctor. I thought that my doctor was my best friend. I thought it said Short Round. My best friend is Asian, and his name is Short Round. I call him Short Round. So, but it was the worst feeling ever, fellas. They couldn't give me any medicine to feel better, like any pain meds, because my blood pressure was like 65/40.
Damn.
And I couldn't even get Tylenol. And I was completely awake with a tube down my throat. I begged them to let me die. Right? I mean, I begged them. I begged them to let me die. And they wouldn't, you know. I bribed them with crackers and Jello and shit, but they wouldn't do it.
That's an intense night, man.
That is.
That's intense. Appreciate you, like, being open about sharing that.
Here's the best part of the story, okay? The next day I realized I could have been watching fucking TV all night. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I thought it was like some sort of computer screen up here. It was the TV, right? Well, the next day, my first movie I watched was fucking Roadhouse.
Epic movie.
Yep. I felt like doing kung fu, like, immediately. Okay? And then the second movie I watched was League of Their Own. You know, because I play baseball and stuff. So that's my only thing I could say about all that, is that the next day, that was spiritual to me. And I didn't see anything other than what I know now is, like, what your brain plays tricks with you. Like, what the fuck were those TVs that I thought I saw? You know, telling me that I won the lottery or something like that as I'm going down the hallway. You know, shit like that. So I don't want to scare anybody away, but God is real and God is good, and as long as you believe in those things, you know, you can have the ability to be what do you call it? I don't know. It's like, as long as you have those two things, you can humble yourself enough in order to realize that you don't matter. You know, and as long as you live by that afterwards, then that's what God will appreciate. That's my opinion. So
It was a hell of a story, man. You went through some shit. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that.
yeah, it's crazy. I made it all up. I read it in a book. No, no, I really haven't.
Damn. So you actually had, like, burns from the defibrillators.
Uh huh. Yep.
You were literally walking death's line.
Oh yeah, yeah. My mom, they were gonna call it, and they walked out, and because my mom was there, and they walked out, and they're like, "Ma'am," and she threatened the entire, I won't say the hospital, she threatened the entire hospital, and said, I don't give a shit. I'll come in here and kill everybody if you do not keep working.
Damn.
And they kept working, and here I am. So.
I'm glad you're here with us, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for sure. I mean, that's crazy though, because, like, how you say, like, you feel like you won the lottery after that. Like, when you were describing how the coming back process felt, like, you were gone, like, you're like, whoosh, and then the comeback. Oh man, like, so when I was bad off with pills, and I would drink on it too, and I would smoke weed on it too, and I would do everything. And I passed out like 4 times off of it in my whole entire life. And
Remember one of those.
And the past couple times, like, the comeback thing is exactly how you described it. Like, a very intense, like, almost dream and premonition. Mm-hmm. And then like the voices coming in first, and then it all, like, rushing back in, like, this is reality.
Yeah.
And like, usually the first thing I'll always say, or that I did say, would be like, I'm okay, I'm back. Like, I would literally say I'm back. And so it's like, it's wild, man. And, okay, so one story, though, I did see the light once. And this is when I was young. I was an adolescent. My grandparents lived in Florida, and we were down there hanging out. They had a swimming pool in the backyard. I maybe was 8 years old. And I was swimming in that pool by myself, right? And I was testing my abilities, and I was going down to the deep end and holding my breath and getting, and at one point I lost my breath. I truly did. And like, I remember kind of passing out, and when that happened in the pool, it was like a bright light, like, and maybe that was me, like maybe my eyes went out, and then like I was coming back to the surface, like my body like happened to still be buoyant, and like, but I remember passing out and then coming back up to the surface and like getting that big fresh breath of air and being like, oh my gosh. And like, I remember that as like an 8-year-old, like almost like drowning by myself, like in a pool once.
Pretty intense, man. It reminds me of when there was this place where I grew up in New England, this place called Surf Coaster. It's like a water park, kind of like what we have here in Denver. And I was in the wave pool, and this one asshole, his raft came right over the top of me and just was sitting right on top of me, man. I thought I was going to drown. I was like maybe 7, 8 years old. It was a summer wreck kind of thing. And that's probably the only thing I can closely compare to that, where I was like, holy shit. And I just remember coming out, I was so angry. I was like, get me the fuck out of here. Spitting up water, almost half drowned. That shit was intense, bro.
Fucking New England. Up until like I was 15, I thought that was actually in England.
It's funny, man, how many people don't understand the geography of New England.
But what's even more terrible at this is that my family's from Massachusetts, Peabody.
Peabody.
Yep.
Love it.
And so I should know that shit. Well, I did. Actually, I did. Until, when I was
Have you
15,
visited?
I figured it out.
You been back there?
Oh, fuck yeah. When I was a kid, yeah, I was like 6 or 7 or 8, something like that.
New England's a great place, man.
Back like when Jaws was around.
When Jaws was around.
And my brother, cocksucker, got to go to Disneyland. They took me to Massachusetts. And then we went out onto the pier. And I just saw Jaws. I swear to God, I thought Jaws was going to fucking eat me. It was the craziest thing ever. And what's even really more terrible about this story is that my grandparents were like, there's not even any sharks here. Trust us. Do you know why the fuck they made the movie Jaws? Because of like 7 deaths that happened at that very pier. Like,
really?
When they made it, yeah.
But I don't know if I knew that was. I didn't know that.
That's the exact story, yeah.
What pier?
If I'm thinking back to my 7 or 8 year old adolescent mind, it was just, I have no idea.
Do you remember like in cahoots to like
All I know is it was in Peabody, and there was like cobblestone bricks,
Yeah.
for
pretty common in New England.
Yeah, so badass.
It's such a cool place, man.
Yeah.
I've been back in so long. I've been out here since 2007.
Have you really?
Yeah, I grew up in central New Hampshire. I love it. So fortunate to have grown up there. Great culture, just a great place. Boston's a fun town. There's so much history up there.
Lake Winnipesaukee.
My man. That was my lake. That was in my backyard, man. I could literally just, open up the slider door and just run out to the lake.
Really?
Yeah.
You white privileged fuck.
It's funny. I didn't realize that until I didn't have it anymore.
Right.
Until I moved out here, man, and had that culture shock. When I met these guys, I'm like, man, I grew up on this fucking lake. These guys out here, like, hey, you want to go to the lake? Cherry Creek.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fucking assholes.
They're reservoirs out here.
Yeah.
This isn't a fucking lake.
They're reservoirs.
I hate to say this, guys, but Lake Winnipesaukee is the shit. Okay, I'm not gonna downplay. Lake Dillon's beautiful. There is Grand Lake's tremendous.
Even Lake Dillon's a reservoir.
Yeah.
It is.
There's a town at the bottom of Lake Dillon because they flooded it because it's a reservoir.
They purposely tried to create a water.
It's not Winnipesaukee
reservoir.
level.
Winnipesaukee's a shit, and that's impressive. You knew that.
Well, I'll tell you how I know about that.
Okay, good story coming up here right here.
So I told you guys I wanted to be an actor. And one of my favorite actors was Bill Murray.
Oh, Bill Murray, yeah.
So Jim Carrey, obviously, right? But Bill Murray. What About Bob? Remember that? Did you guys see that movie?
What about Bob?
I feel like I recognize the cover art if I saw it.
Oh my god! It's so freaking funny. So Bob is Bill Murray, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Doesn't matter because it's Bill Murray. It doesn't. Nobody else matters. But his therapist, he's a psychiatric therapist, and so Bob, he goes in there like almost every single day, and he tells Bob that he's going to Lake Winnipesaukee, and he's like, so where's that? And the guy tells him, and he's like, New Hampshire, and so that's how I knew he was in New Hampshire, and then I never even put it together until just now that's where it actually was. So that's the reason why I actually said that from the movie.
That makes me happy, man. Lake Winnipesaukee epic.
Yeah,
it's my home.
I mean, I'm pretty smart. I got like a 1.8 GPA in high school.
I think we're like at the same.
So I put it together, you know.
Dude, that's so much higher than 0. Like, fucking, that's awesome.
I think I rocked about a 1.8.
I was trying to get to the
2.0.
ones. Thought that was the best, you know. First.
1.8.
4.
Yeah, lady, what's up?
4.
Get out of here with your 4.0s.
That
I'm
means you're
rocking that
fourth.
one hitter.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. I played sports. I didn't graduate that low, but it's funny.
That's fun to goof off, of course. But that's cool, man. You knew Lake Winnie. Literally, I've talked about that lake a couple times in this program. I'm so fortunate to grow up there. Literally
I'm
lived
jealous,
on
man.
it.
That's pretty badass.
It's such a cool lake, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell everyone, if you've never been to the New England area, especially this time of year, you know, with the leaf peepers. I mean, we have some good fall colors in Colorado, but the fall colors back home in New England are incredible.
I've never seen that live action. I'd love to.
The reds, the oranges, the
Here
yellows.
or there?
No, I've never been up to the Northeast and seen it.
Yeah, New
Oh, yeah,
England.
yeah.
I grew up here. Like, of course,
Yeah.
you know, Colorado. is
New England's
my
got
home
some
state.
amazing fall colors. I will tell you that. It
I
just
bet,
do.
yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful.
It seems like Halloween. It probably smells like fucking pumpkin spice.
Well, and you got to remember too, you know, the Salem witch trials, you know, which is in northern Massachusetts. You got all these haunted houses, like and like bed and breakfasts that have been around for so long. People pay big top dollar, kind of like they do at the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
Where we're going to talk about this on Happy Friday tomorrow, about all these haunted places. It's kind of cool. People pay big dollars to go there.
Which is weird, right?
Which is weird. I'm not necessarily into it. It's fun. It's kind of festive, if you will, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, I'm a native. Are you?
Yes.
You are? What part?
Park Hill,
Park Hill, downtown?
Denver. Yeah.
Denver, okay.
I'm one of them there, city boy.
Yeah, that's why you like that G'd up gangster rap.
But then I also grew up on 5 acres across the street from 400 acres with donkeys and know how to do the land shit too.
Don't talk about the Broncos like that.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about them big horse hanging ass donkeys that hang out on the side of them barbed wire fences on that dirt road that when people drive by, kick it up.
So where's that at?
That would be off of Cherry Creek Boulevard. No, Cherry Creek.
So Parker Road?
No, it was so if you take Main Street out or Inspiration, then you'll come across like Tomahawk, and then there's all those roads like the 10 miles east of Parker. It's rural.
Gotcha, okay.
And so I grew up inner city, and then out there, it was a culture shock a little bit moving out there.
Yeah.
I mean that's the whole subject. We could totally get into it, but I feel like we've been covering some of this stuff, and I feel like it's important to really like dial it in on this as well. So we like to ask every single guest this question, and we have to ask you, if you can give humanity, if you were to give humanity one piece of advice, so everybody's going to be better tomorrow, what would that one piece of advice be?
I think that knowledge is always key, but good knowledge. If it's knowledge for, you know, if it's not going to help, you know, mankind better themselves, then not that kind of knowledge. But passing down generational things that actually matter, that when people hear a story about it, they're going to be like, that's a great story. You know, money doesn't mean jack shit. You know, I've had it, I've lost it, you know, get it back, lose it, whatever the case may be, you know. One of the, it sucks because it's sometimes like nice people finish last, but as long as you can look at yourself in a mirror for how you actually treated someone the day before or whatever, look yourself in the mirror, and if you are proud of your reflection, that's actually probably the most inspirational thing I could think of to say to anybody. You know, my son, my family, my friends. So.
Well, that's a great piece of advice, man. You know, it really comes back to the own it piece.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if you're out there doing what you need to do and it brings you a sense of fulfillment and joy and enlightenment, if you enjoy what you're doing and you're being good to thy neighbor and your friends, I mean, that speaks a lot of volume. You know, I know we talked about tattoos earlier. I like to always show Beyond Blood. This tattoo means a lot to me, you know, because Beyond Blood to me means family and friends make you the richest man. That's truly what I believe, you know, removing the financial piece from it. So I can relate to that piece. Chad, that was great.
Yeah, and I mean, you touched a lot of great layers there, and you asked a great question earlier that had a lot of layers, so I'm going to compliment you before I continue on this, but, like, good job on like, bringing layers to a conversation. Like, it's so easy to just get a bland surface level topic, but you're going core level stuff here. It's not crest. So I appreciate that.
Thanks,
Kevin highlighted a great point. The point I'm going to highlight is the looking at yourself in the mirror and appreciating that person. And how are you treating people, and how do you feel about your stance on how you have been handling reality and how you're treating people. And when you can give yourself that look in the mirror, and everybody knows when you look in the mirror, you know when you're a piece of shit or not. Mm-hmm. And I know when I've been a piece of shit. And look, it's not easy to overcome, or maybe you're just overthinking things, dude. Maybe you're not a piece of shit. Maybe you're just, a little lost right now. And I've been there too, and that's okay. So, like, we all know, honestly, where we're at. That's the point I'm trying to make there. And when you know that where you're at is a place of honesty and integrity and morality, that feels really good. And so, like, what is your integrity? What is your personal honesty? And what is your morality? I feel like those are important questions, and I'm going to tie that into the challenge of the week. I would like everybody to ask themselves those questions. What's your integrity, morality? What's your stance? Like, are you truly treating yourself and the people you care about well? What a great point to make there. I mean, it's awesome to get to know you better and like get beyond the layers of getting to know you while we're out, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And thank you for being so open and exposing yourself on this podcast, as Kevin and I have done a lot of times in the past. And that way people could get to know somebody else that's real as yourself, man.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that, fellas. The other thing is trust in yourself. So I got a great story. I feel like that was like the tie into the end segment, right? Okay, get this. So I always call into radio stations because I always like to win shit. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, I win shit all the time. Okay. Around this time of year. I don't know. Who the fuck knows why, right? So I called up a radio station. I don't want to say it, but I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm like, shit. I gotta go in the store. Fuck. I feel like I'm gonna win this thing. So I sat in there for like 5 minutes. They didn't tell you to call. And I'm like, fuck it. I gotta go. So I go into the store. I'm like, you know what? I know the number. I'm just gonna call it randomly. I called up. I was caller motherfucking 5. I won randomly, like not even hearing anything on the radio, just randomly called, and I was caller number 5. What the fuck?
That's awesome.
Like, I'm just going to dial this in right now.
So believe in it.
Believe and achieve.
Yes.
Send it.
Absolutely.
Own it.
Yep. Keep your feet on the ground, but your head in the clouds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grab the bull by the horns and fucking own it. Hell yeah, brother. I'll tell you this, Chad, man. It's been a good time sitting down with you, brother. I appreciate you coming down, man. I know, he had a busy day, and you still made time to come down, and that speaks volume to your character to spend some time with us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys edit out any bad angles.
No. We're going to send all of it, Chad.
We can't get a bad angle on you, bro.
Yeah, right.
Come on now.
He's a handsome lad. If you're just listening, watch on YouTube so you can take a look at what's going on. And I'll tell you this, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to keep this train moving. Appreciate everyone's support, of course. Discussion Combustion. Follow us on all social media platforms. Chad, any plugs that you want to put in?
This mic was in, right? So yeah. I don't think I have any more plugs to put in.
This man done speak of the truth. And this is it. Speak the truth to yourself. We love you. Be good to yourselves. You deserve it.